from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from the Rupavahini News Studios. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
And I'm Prashant De Silva. First, a look at the headlines.
The 78th UN General Assembly begins. CID takes over the investigations on the shooting at parliamentarian Uddika Premaratna. Several services have been declared as essential services. A positive change in the economy compared to the second quarter of 2022. New hotline is available to inform incidents of ragging. People who survived in floods are now facing a threat of landmines. Sri Lanka lost the Asia Cup.
The 78th session of the UN General Assembly kicked off today.
The first discussion of the Assembly is to be held tomorrow. The General Assembly sessions will be held until the 21st of this month. Over 140 state leaders and their representatives have gathered in New York at present to address the UN General Assembly. Paramount focus of this assembly this year will be the climatic change and the war in Ukraine. This year's theme included peace, prosperity and sustainability towards year 2030. This addition accelerating the movements to win sustainable development goals, rebuilding trust and global cooperation are also among this year's agenda. A top-level discussion on the sustainable development of United Nations is being held today. All state leaders will take part in this summit. Talks in this connection is scheduled to be held tomorrow as well. President Ranil Wickremesinghe will address the General Assembly on 21st of this month. In the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, the Sustainable Development Goals 2023 State Leaders Summit will also be held. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to address this summit. World leaders will provide guidelines at the summit to take transformative and rapid actions towards 2030 development goals. President Ranil Wickremesinghe will also expect to have bilateral talks with several state leaders who have come to New York to address the 78th UN General Assembly. The President's Media Division says that the President is scheduled to take part in the dialogue among Indo-Pacific island states for unity among marine states.
The investigations regarding the shooting which took place at the residence of Anuradhapura District Parliamentarian Uddika Premaratna have been entrusted to the Criminal Investigation Department. This action has been taken under an order issued by the IGP C.D. Wickremaratne. The shooting has taken place at about 10:30 last night when parliamentarian Uddika Premaratna had stopped his motor car near the gate of his residence and entering the house. According to the police, several shots were fired at the rear seat of the car targeting the parliamentarian. The CID had started the investigation soon after the incident last night itself. The officials of the crime branch have conducted an on-the-spot investigation using police dogs. The computer crime division is now checking the surveillance cameras of the area. Several ministers and parliamentarians arrived at the residence of Uddika Premaratna this morning and inquired him over the incident.
Several services have been declared as essential services under the order of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The relevant special gazette notification has been issued by the Acting President Secretary Chandani Vijayawardena. Accordingly, all services relating to supply of power, petroleum production, supply and distribution of fuel have been declared as essential services. In addition, hospitals, nursing homes, dispensaries and their services such as patient care, treatment services, nutrition and maintenance of patients and all other related affairs are considered as essential services. This gazette notification has been issued considering any possible obstruction or hindrance to these services.
Acting Finance Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya says that according to the new report presented by the Department of Census and Statistics, there is a positive economic growth at present when compared to the same period in 2020. He revealed these facts at a media briefing held in the Ministry of Finance today. Acting Finance Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya said that according to this report, the economy was at minus 3.1% in the second quarter of 2022. This year, the economy has shown a possible growth at present. There is a 19.8% growth in paddy cultivation, 44.4% growth in the grain cultivation. It is a growth of 7.1% in tea cultivation. Vegetable sector has also shown 6.9% growth. The industrial sector, there is an 11.5% decline at present. The construction sector is the most affected with 23.1% decline or minus. The government is taking great efforts these days to reduce the prices of building materials to review the industry. Service sector has also shown a decline of 8%. Financial and bank services have declined by 18.8%. Food and lodging sector have decreased by 34.2%. The acting finance minister said, however, there can be positive expectations.
Several political parties held public meetings at electoral level targeting future elections in the weekend as well. The Dehiwala electoral meeting of the Lanka Freedom Party was held yesterday under the patronage of parliamentarian Kumara Welgama. The K-Gol District Conference of the National People's Power was held recently. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna held its Tangol electoral meeting with the participation of a large crowd.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that if we were able to carry forward the social economic reforms initiated by former President late J.R. Jayawardena in 1977, Sri Lanka would be a developed nation today. President Wickremesinghe stated this issuing a special meeting for the 117th birth anniversary of J.R. Jayawardena. The commemoration ceremony was held yesterday at the J.R. Jayawardena Centre in Colombo 7. Acting Secretary General of J.R. Jayawardena Centre, President's Senior Assistant Secretary Chamika Mumulage read out the President's message to the audience. Senior great-grandson of J.R. Jayawardena, Pradeep Jayawardena, made floral tribute to his grandfather. The keynote address was delivered by former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. Former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya said that as an impartial observer, he is delighted to partake in this occasion today. JR firmly believed in the privatization of financially struggling public institutions, a vision championed by Mr. J.R. Jayawardena. He also advocated for the revaluation of these institutions. Furthermore, he emphasized the importance of collaboration between government and private entities to create job opportunities for the nation's youth. Governing board member of the J.R. Jayawardena Centre, Pradeep Jayawardena, said that this commemorative ceremony is taking place today during a challenging period in the country as we actively seek solutions to the ongoing crisis. Some segments of our society attribute the current situation to the executive presidential system. However, it's worth noting that if the exception of one administration, all previous governments successfully completed their terms due to the executive presidential system. Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena, Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena, Governor Naveen Disanaik and family members and some public representatives were also present at this ceremony.
Chief of Presidential Staff Sagla Ratnaka has ordered the relevant officials to prepare a report regarding the repairs and renovations that should be carried out in reservoirs, irrigational tanks, bunds and hydro tunnels. The officials have been informed to provide this report within 2 weeks. These instructions were given at a discussion held in the Presidential Secretariat today. Accordingly, information on current security situation at all the reservoirs, irrigational tanks, bunds and tunnels should be included in this report. Required repairs and renovations, the estimated costs and other technological needs should also be included in the report. Sagla Ratnaka said that this report will soon be submitted to the President and take necessary actions immediately. Senior officials and engineers of the Irrigation Department, Sri Lanka Mahaveli Authority and Ceylon Electricity Board were present at this meeting. They lengthily discussed the current technological and security situation prevailing in the reservoirs, bunds and their tunnels that come under the purview of these institutions. Sri Lanka lost its hope of winning the Asia Cup for the 7th time as it was defeated by India at the finals yesterday.
Next, Sri Lanka team will take part in the World Cricket Cup tournament. Disregarding the team's winning and losing, a large number of cricket fans usually gather to cricket grounds to cheer Sri Lankan team. In the same manner, about 35,000 cricket fans have gathered at the R. Premadasa cricket grounds yesterday to view the finals of the Asia Cup. Many thousands of cricket lovers watched the match from their televisions at home. All these spectators' one and only wish was victory to Sri Lanka. However, the Sri Lankan team failed yesterday unexpectedly. It is commendable that Sri Lankan team qualified for finals even without a number of leading bowlers.
One expected change PC should be happy with.
In Asia Cup finals, India win. Nick, gone! Early wicket for India. And it's Siraj. What a catch! A length delivery. In the air. It's back-to-back wickets. Can you believe?
As the batsman failed yesterday, Sri Lanka's innings was restricted to 50 runs. This is the lowest score Sri Lanka lost in an ODI to India. India won the match for no loss at 6.1 overs, scoring 51 runs. India won the Asia Cup for the 8th time this year.
And it is victory for India. Their 8th Asia Cup final victory. And what a victory it is. India win by 10
Head coach of Sri Lankan team told the media the team should forget about the defeat of this match with vim and vigour. Get ready to the next tournament.
Thank supporters who came in numbers. Really sorry about the fact that we disappointed you, but still thanks for the great support. We as cricketers love you all. Thanks guys.
I think first of all, we played some very good cricket to get to the final. We had to fight very hard to get here. Clearly, to lose in the manner that we have there is very disappointing and something that will hurt all the players, and it's certainly hurting the coaching staff as well. I think we're going to have to rebuild. We're going to have to put the confidence back into the players. Obviously, we'll give them a little bit of a break now. Go home, refresh your brain, get back together. But you know what? Sometimes a little bit of kick up the rear end before you go into a big tournament is not the worst thing either. And maybe this is just a bit of a wake-up call that actually Australia, New Zealand, those type of guys, we have to be on the top of our game, and we have to make sure that we turn up consistently all the time. So, there may be something that we can use out of this to help motivate us through that World Cup as well. I don't think there's any sense of fatigue in this performance. I think the one thing we have done, and it's been widely spoken about, is obviously we've come into this tournament depleted on bowlers. We have a number of injuries from the bowling department. That's an excuse we can't use in the batting department, so I'm not even going to go there. But it's hard. The schedule is tough. But I'm sure if you speak to most coaches around the world, most players around the world, the schedule for international cricket at the moment is tough as well. So it's something that we have to learn to live with, and something we have to deal with. We have to find consistency within that top 7, really. We're back all the way down to 7. We have experience through there as well. So it is a concern, and it's certainly something we have to address, and it's something we will talk about. Not only the coaching staff but the players as well. I would encourage them to face into the problem head on, and we have to do something about it. It's as simple as that. We cannot let this happen.
That's a good shot. That's 6.
Cricket is an uncertain game. There are ample examples that even super teams lose matches drastically. The match between Sri Lanka and India, played in Sharjah on the 29th of October 2000, was an example for this matter. At this game, Sri Lanka scored 299 runs for 5 wickets in their 50 overs. Sana Jayasuriya scored 189 runs in 161 balls with 21 fours and 4 sixes. In reply, India were all out for 54 runs, its lowest scored in the ODI history. Sri Lanka won that match by 245 runs. Since then, during the past 23 years, India has become a superb team at present.
What a catch, what a catch! These guys are... That's in the air, and this is going to be out as well. Yes, he's got him.
He's bowled him. That's a lovely piece of off-spin bowling.
Bowled him. Just going up. That's it. Caught behind, all over. And that is the lowest score ever in a Sharjah match.
A comfortable final to win. They win by 10 wickets.
Skills shown by young players like Dunit Wellalage, Matisha Patirana and Sadira Samravikrama are a positive sign of Sri Lanka team becoming a superb team. The World Cup ODI cricket tournament will begin on the 5th of next month in India. Sri Lanka will face its first match against South Africa at this tournament.
His 24th half-century in ODI cricket.
Cut through the left side, victory. They will take it home. He brings up a 50. Deliveries, 3 fours and his 6. And what again?
Speaker of the Bangladesh Parliament Shirin Sherman Cowdery has expressed her satisfaction regarding the speedy recovery gained by Sri Lanka following its recent economic crisis.
She pointed out that since Sri Lanka has established required infrastructure facilities at present, the island is capable of expanding tourism industry at present. The Bangladesh speaker made these remarks when she met Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees today. Bangladesh speaker recalled the existing long-term cooperation between the two countries and stressed the need to further expanding these relations. She also pointed out that through such cooperation, both countries will be able to strengthen their democratic parliament procedures. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that Sri Lanka expects to get the support of Bangladesh to manufacture pharmaceuticals in Sri Lanka, as Bangladesh has expertise, knowledge on pharmaceutical manufacturing. The two countries also focused their attention for the possibilities of having investments in the power and energy sector, ICT, education and tourism sectors in the South Asian region.
New emergency calling unit is to be established to obtain complaints with regard to human rights violations and other illegal actions faced by new students of higher education institutions. A media briefing was held at the Department of Government Information today in this connection. State Minister of Higher Education Dr. Shirin Raghavan said that there are evidence some radical political parties have accepted violence as a principle of their political ideologies. This trend has been obvious since 1971. Ragging new students at higher education institutions has become a part of this ideology. Violence and torture have been rejected by the international community as they are not suitable for a cultured society. Therefore, we must all take measures to stop ragging in educational institutions. Legal Officer of the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka, Ranil Abenayaka, said that all possible measures should be taken to stop ragging and other illegal activities in the university system. There is a trend of ragging in public institutions and schools as well. Police media spokesman SSP Attorney at Law Nihal Talduva said any person can give information on ragging through the hotline 1997. In addition, WhatsApp number 07654534454 is also available to send any type of information to be sent with even video clips. The CID is ready to investigate such incidents without delay. Heads of media institutions say that one of the major hindrances for quick reporting is difficulty in obtaining correct information from ministries, departments and other government institutions without delay.
They revealed these facts at the Parliamentary Sectoral Monitoring Committee held at the Parliament Complex recently. Since some media secretaries do not carry out the relevant coordination work properly, the media institutions are unable to make the public aware of some state development programs. Thereby, the Parliamentary Sectoral Committee informed that Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Mass Media to focus special attention to this matter and prepare a suitable program to address this issue. This committee met under the patronage of its chairman, Parliamentarian Jagat Kumar Sumitra Arachi. This committee had this meeting to obtain views and proposals of the heads of media institutions in order to create a more positive future in the country as an open and accountable government. A large number of heads of media institutions representing electronic and print media were present at this meeting.
State Minister Siripala Gamlat says that the construction of the stalled road network will be started soon. He made this comment at a press briefing held in the President's Media Centre today. State Minister Siripala Gamlat said that, quote, "When I took office as State Minister, most of the country's highway projects had come to a standstill, with significant outstanding payments to contractors totaling approximately 180 billion rupees, equivalent to less than a year's road project budget. We've already disbursed 151 billion rupees, with 29 billion rupees left to pay, encouraging some contractors to restart projects. Additionally, we've settled a substantial backlog of unpaid arrears accumulated over several years."
And we have more news from home in brief. A Sri Lankan fishing vessel with 3 fishermen has flown away to Indian waters due to a technical failure. A foreign ship has saved the 3 fishermen and brought to the island. They were directed to Hambantota Base Hospital for treatments. A resident in Kenya has been taken into custody with a semi-auto weapon using T-56 bullets. The person was arrested by the police STF officials at Agbopura sugar factory area. Veteran radio announcer, drama artist and news reader Ramya Sriyani Patirana passed away. She was 64 years at the time of her death. Remains are now lying at her residence at number 304.2 Uswata Meda Road, Arawala, Panipitiya. A 159th birth anniversary of Srimat Anagarika Dharmapala was commemorated in Vijayarama Temple in Rajagiri yesterday under the patronage of Chief Sanganayaka of USA, Dr. Venerable Valpola Piyananda Thera. Six-month training course for amateur elephant caretakers was started today in Pinnavala. 17 trainee elephant caretakers have joined this training. After successful completion of the training, they will be given NVQ Level 4 certificates. Secretary to the Ministry of Wildlife, Chandra Herath, and several officials were present at this occasion.
The Western Province Road Passenger Transport Authority introduced new hotlines today to inform the relevant authorities regarding the offences committed by private bus employees. The action has been taken since passengers are lodging many complaints against employees of private buses. Accordingly, if any passenger faces any difficulty or inconvenience in private buses, he or she can inform it to the relevant officials through the hotlines 0112-860-860 or 0760-450-860.
We'll be back with international news after this break.
Spicy fun vibe එක විවර කරන්න beat එක remake කරන්න to win හදවත වහවලා යන්න කින්දර passion කරන්න fun උතුරන්න කොත්තමි kick එක මෙන්න TikTok viral යනවා නැතිල trending වෙනවා hot sauce රසෙනවා spicy රස වැටෙනවා prima කොත්තමි fun තමයි
அவசரமா எல்சியன் ஓபன் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன்.
இருக்கும் இந்த ஒரு இடத்திலிருந்தும் உங்க பிசினஸ் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜென்னின் டிஜிட்டல் பேங்கிங் பார்ட்னர் பீப்பிள்ஸ் பேங்க். කොළඹ ජාත්‍යන්තර පොත් ප්‍රදර්ශනය 2023 සැප්තැම්බර් 22 සිට ඔක්තෝබර් 1 දක්වා පෙරළු 9 සිට රාත්‍රී 9 BMIC Shirin සංවිධානය ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොත් ප්‍රකාශකයින්ගේ සංගමය.
Welcome back. Now, foreign media reports that residents who survived the devastating floods in the eastern coastal Libyan city of Derna were faced with the threat of displaced landmines in surrounding areas. Residents in the Libyan flood area says that they had to think whether to wade through areas where landmines were displaced by raging torrents that swept away entire families in the wake of this week's floods. Many had to travel through the areas because they didn't have fresh water in their homes as the flooding contaminated local water sources. Last week, a local official reported at least 150 cases of diarrhea among the flood survivors. Reuters news agency reported that flooding is believed to have affected around a quarter of all buildings in Derna.
Foreign media reports that buildings have caught fire in Sudan's capital after heavy fighting between the army and rival forces. Videos posted online show the iconic Greater Nile Petroleum Oil Company tower engulfed in flames. Airstrikes and ground battles have continued in Khartoum and other towns and cities since fighting broke out in April. Over 1 million people have been forced to flee the country, the UN has said. Located near the River Nile, the 18-story oil firm skyscraper is one of the most recognizable landmarks in Khartoum. It is not yet clear what caused the building's cone-like structure, which has a glass facade, to catch fire. There have been no reports or injuries or deaths. Fire raging at Greater Nile Petroleum Oil Company Tower, Khartoum.
Terima Cowdery, Pantamai.
On sports news, the Fiji Island team defeated Australia in the World Cup rugby tournament being held in France.
At the end of the first half, Fiji team led the game with 12 to 8 points. Scoring 10 more points at the second half, Fiji Island won the match by 22 to 15 points.
An easy strike for Ben Donaldson. Kicks an early penalty to put Australia up. Lock on quickly, have Australia here. Sabu Karevi, ball back in field. On the long and left, Awasi, they caught Australia. They don't get near it, though. It's allowed to bounce, and it's going to land before he's on. He's got a clear run through the corner. Joshua Tui's on the fly.
South Africa defeated Romania 17-0 in another match of the tournament.
Lovely pass to Billy LaRue. He's got pace, he's got hands. Maka sits open right up. Romania part like the Red Sea. It's devastating. Back, Japan, hands. Joe Marler.
England beat Japan 32 to 12 points in another match.
Gets the ball. It's England are over. Players available on the left-hand side. That's the bonus point try. And it's
Offloads to tie.
Ireland defeated Tonga Islands 59 to 16 points in another match of the World Cup rugby tournament in France.
This sort of stuff, and they do get the try. Footwork cuts inside. McHanson. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay,
Terima Cowdery, Pantamai.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel I. I'm Delanjali, together with Prashant signing off. Good night.